Good morning and welcome to the Puke Bowling Club here in the Bay of Plenty. Absolutely magnificent conditions here today for the final play of the playoffs for Regional 2 here at Puke. And we've got here in action 3 rounds been played today. And of course the winner of these will go through the National Interclub finals. And of course around the country today we have got regional playoffs all around the country. And throughout the day I'll be bringing you updates, of course, right throughout the day as they come through. So we've got it in the men's here today. We've got Thames Valley, Waikato, Counties Manukau, and Bay of Plenty. Thames Valley being represented by the Coromandel Club Waikato from Frankton Junction, Counties Manukau from the Manuera Cosmopolitan Club, and Bay of Plenty from Tauranga. In the women, we have got the Thames Coast Club representing the Thames Valley Centre. From the Waikato Centre, we've got the Manuera Club, and from Counties Manukau again, we've got the Manuera Cosmopolitan Club, and from Bay of Plenty, we have got the Nongata Half Club from Rotorua. So 3 rounds throughout the day, and if you want to tell your friends, neighbours, or whoever to watch this live coverage right throughout the day, they can either go to the Bowls New Zealand, the Te Puke Bowling Club, go to the respective website, Facebook, and there is plenty of links where you can watch this live action right throughout the day. The first round this morning we'll be bringing you will be the pairs, and that is the Hinuera combination of Jocelyn Holton and Karen De Jong. They're up against the Nongataha combination of Lynette McIntosh and Wendy Green. With me this morning I have got Blackjack number 41, Mary Campbell, who'll be with me throughout this pairs match of 18 ends, 2 3/4 hours. Good morning, Mary. Nice to have you here, and we're in for a beautiful day.
It's stunning out there this morning, absolute stunning.
And no wind whatsoever. The green running around about 17.5 seconds. They're playing the first end down here in front of us now, and we'll have that live action right throughout. And of course, going on as well around the greens here, I can tell you that we have got in the in the men's section, we have got this one. We've got Frankton Junction up against Tauranga in round 1. Manuera Cosmopolitan up against Coromandel in round 1 in the men. And in the women, as you know, we've got Hinuera and Nongataha up against one another, and Thames Coast playing Manuera Cosmopolitan and playing singles, pairs and fours. And my intention is that we'll go round the boards 3 times throughout these matches this morning, and we will bring you updates from around the greens. So, first end, coming to an end, as we see, Karen De Jong, former Carlton Cornwall player, just drew this shot there, drew another with her first bowl to score a 2. So, green looks to be running very well as well. Mary, you'd have played on the screen, it looks a pretty good green.
It's a very nice green, this one. It runs really well, especially this way too, I think.
Well, there's no wind for them to contend with at all today, is there? It's absolutely perfect conditions. Stunning
conditions for this time of the year. It's going to be a warm day, I think.
Yeah, temperature predicted to be up in the 20s, up to about 23 this morning. The Te Puke Club, situated just behind the main street here in Te Puke. 2 Green Club. Obviously, I can see the New World signs all around the place here, that representative for the club president, John Gray, but a lovely setting here at this 2 Green Club, and I'm sure we're going to enjoy the day here at the Te Puke Club as we see the Hinuera player, Jocelyn Holton, playing her first bowl on this second end, just coming up, just going to be lower than Jack, but finishing literally right on the centre line by about 2 feet, and it certainly looks a green, Mary, that if you take your green, you'll get rewarded. If you don't take your green, you'll pay the price.
Absolutely, it looks stunning out there, and I think Lynette will pick up really well. Actually, she's pretty tidy lead.
Well, of course, we see Wendy Green, of course, leading for the Nongataha side, the winner of 23 centre titles in the Bay of Plenty. Very, very accomplished player. On the back end now is the Jocelyn Holden. She's got this bowl out on that wider arc. This looks a better green to the Jack, coming back towards the centre line. It's going to go by a couple of metres, but nothing wrong with that. Literally right on the centre line. The shot bowl of Wendy Green's sitting Jack level.
Lynette McIntosh.
Lynette McIntosh, sorry.
This is coming back lovely here. It's going to almost finish on the jack, I would think.
So just to clarify for me then,
Very
to get
good.
it right, me to touch it there, we've got Lynette McIntosh, who's got 15 centre titles, and Wendy Green with 23 who's skipping, right? Well, I've got that sorted out. That's good. So, perfect bowl there from Lynette McIntosh, just getting a touch on the jack. So, Jocelyn Holton, I don't know how far is this going to run? It's not going to have the weight to get all the way to the jack. Certainly had a good arc on the bowl, and that's going to be a couple of metres. And of course, problem here, Mary, where you open the door straight away for the Nongataha side, when you start falling short and cut off that draw line, just makes it harder to get to the jack, doesn't it?
Very hard for the skip, unless the bowls are over the head. Yeah, just that metre short's just a nuisance, really.
Well, especially, of course, when they're sitting literally near as right on the centre line, it just makes it harder. So the skips change over on this, the second end of 18 in this Region 2 Interclub playoffs. Hinuera, of course, the Waikato, a small club, rural club, but very, very competitive club, Mary, isn't it?
It is, and apparently their green, the 40-metre green, I was talking to someone last night and they said it's just running stunningly over there, so they're used to fast greens.
They certainly are one of the biggest greens in New Zealand, the Hinuera green, and I thought we might see now Karen de Jong coming on the forehand, trying to, I'd say, with about a yard of weight should need to get past those bowls to see. That's going to be under the line. You can see that straight out of the hand. You can see that.
Very tight.
Yeah, very tight, and it'll run away for sure. I suppose really, Mary, the thoughts were try and play up to those two bowls, but you needed the line, and of course it really needed another yard and a bit of weight. Just checking to see whether that first bowl of Karen de Jong's, it's out. So just leaving that draw line open on the backhand for Wendy Green. Look narrow out of the hand. We'll just see how far it comes back now, and it is going to be under the line. Might sneak through the port to draw another one. Needs to get under this bowl, and will do so. Drew through the two bowls. You'll see our marker there. Well,
it's a good weighted bowl, that one.
It was very good. So, De Jong again trying to play that shot. He had the weight that time. Really, Mary, that was a shot to play, but a bowl wide, and now just rolled another bowl of the Windy Green side into the head. They're holding a very, very good three there. Two bowls being played by Karen de Jong. The pressure's on.
Nice line from Wendy again, I think, here. Depends on who. It looks
Well,
like
just
a pretty good weight too. It's going
Yep.
to get past really nicely.
Just get past the two, but now I think really...
Shot itself.
Sitting in behind. I think now really the draw hand save on the backhand is what Karen de Jong is going to endeavour to play, because 4 down and 2 of them are only within centimetres of the jack. So de Jong gets that bowl out, takes a wider line on her boulders, Karen de Jong. How's the weight going to be as it comes towards the head now? Not going to get past the front bowls, is it? Yep. Not going to. Runs into them. 4 shots. Big chance here for a 5 for the Nongataha side behind the end 2. And it all came back really, Mary, from just taking your green, isn't it?
It is. Wendy's a little bit tighter here. She really is.
Well, she gets past. She's not going to do any damage. She gets past. She'll count.
She's passed. Oh, she's got a great bowl. Very good bowl. It's 5 shots.
It's 5. I'm sure it's 5. It is. It goes up very quickly. Great reply from the Nongataha pair. The 5 on end 2. And as we said, Mary had always looked a challenge for the Hinuera side after the leads have played with those 2 short bowls sitting right on the centre line. Made it very, very difficult for the Nongataha side. For the Hinuera side, and they couldn't reduce the count.
Yeah, I think those 2 short bowls of Jocelyn's just didn't help.
No, they didn't.
At that stage.
So we've seen a change here, but Jack's been delivered right down to the 2 metre mark. Matt's up a couple of metres on the backhand. Well, McIntosh was in that Hinduera side as well. It's in the fours, a very, very well accomplished former New Zealand New Zealand player, not a blackjack, but Bev Corbett, who you'd have played against a number of times, very, very, very well performed player.
Oh, she is, yes. And they've got Debbie as well playing the singles.
Well, I'm getting a bit confused. I'm not sure whether Debbie actually plays in Tauranga, Point Chevalier or Hinuera. I'm a bit confused.
I think she moves around. She's been over in our club playing as well. I just think that maybe over in Hamilton there's not that many teams or strong clubs over there at the moment.
So we saw then the lead for Hinuera get a touch on the jack and moved it down towards the ditch, moved it off the 2 metre mark. And you'll see, I think McIntosh now, again, you can see very quickly here, can't you, Mary? If you take the line, you're going to get rewarded, aren't you? You can see that arc on the bowl is just...
And Lynette's such a good line taker. She really is. That was unlucky, really. She's very good line taker for a lead. And her and Wendy have been together for such a long time.
It was just sitting on the line to the jack there, wasn't she? In that?
She was.
So Holton now going out very wide on that forehand, but it is working its way back towards the...
Maybe a bit quick.
We're not going to hold up though, is it? No, it's not. And we'll run towards the ditch. But whether or not he wasn't actually a bad line, jack level, you'll see Wendy Green indicating to Lynette McIntosh that the shot bowl is in fact jack level. I'll just question whether it might have brought the line in a wee bit here, I think, Mary, and has.
Has, yeah. It's going to be a wee bit tight, but if she gets a wee rub off that front bowl...
Might touch the front bowl, correct.
Absolutely.
Turns it over.
And almost gets the shot.
Oh, close to making it shot. See what the marker has to say.
Karen thinks they have one shot.
So the indication there with Jocelyn Holton changing the hand to the backhand, you'd think that, yes, they do have the shot there, Mary. So on the backhand is the Hinuera lead, end 3 of 18 and round 1 of 3, which will be played here. Not a breath of wind out there, Mary, as you look at these trees out here. Clear blue sky, not a cloud in the sky, is there?
Beautiful autumn day. It's stunning out there. Good bowls weather.
Yes, well, I'm staying at Mount Maunganui and this morning, not that I was one of them, but the sort of the beachfront there, it was a hive of activity, people walking, running, scooters, all sorts of things, enjoying getting out early, and which is what people do here in the Mount, Mary, don't they?
They do, and go up the mount and round the mount and along the beachfront.
Round the mount sounds a lot more comfortable than going climbing.
Absolutely. Haven't done that for a few years.
Yeah, no, I just think around it's quite safe.
Yeah.
So here, Wendy Green now on the forehand, and she's got some bowls there to play to. Just question that line, a bit tight, but playing with weight right through to the jack. Might get a slide off the front bowl, doesn't, misses the shot bowl, but you can see the intent there from the Nongataha skip. The jack's an option for, of course, isn't it? To get
absolutely. They've only and that bowl's holding them out of 3 shots.
Correct, because the 2 bowls of Jocelyn Holton, of course, were overweighted and went towards the ditch. So there's every advantage here for with that first bowl for Wendy Green to play with the weight that she did. And this bowl to Karen de Jong's is going to run all the way. Don't think so.
It's
no,
not
it's
a good
not.
bowl, really.
No, that's very short, and I'm sure Wendy Green has already, with her first bowl, indicated the shot option for her. And you're quite right, Mary. There's no danger for Wendy Green at all. Looks to have a wee bit more green. This time is going to hold up to that front bowl. It gets the front bowl and turns it over. Could well make shot of it and get rid of the bowl.
Yes,
did so.
Absolutely. Great shot.
And 2 shots is the call straight away. We heard there, and that was, you just sort of, it's the old story, isn't it, Mary? You've got to get bowls on the head, otherwise you can pay the price, can't you, very quickly.
Very important job for the lead. Getting over the jack. Not dropping short, but being near the jack as well.
Well, because of the challenge with Karen de Jong here, it's how you're drawing down to literally
Just looks a bit heavy, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, it's very difficult, I would say, to gauge that weight. And it's set on a bowl, though, but No, you heard there, McIntosh just indicating to her lead, to a skip, just draw up on that forehand, which Wendy Green or Doon's got it out wider on the draw.
It's a very good line. Just maybe a bit. It's going
Well,
to
if
even come in.
it gets past in those fronts, it'll count.
Absolutely.
And if it gets past clean like it does now, it'll count. So
it's maybe 5 shots
there's
there.
a big number again, I think. Just checking is one of the calls of 4 was 2, but that last bowl of Wendy Green's will definitely count. In this round 1 here this morning at the Puke Bowling Club. Beautiful conditions, and really the backhand's the only shot to play, really, isn't it, because you're going to get tangled up on the forehand, one would imagine, trying to get down there on the draw. And
absolutely, she only has to come in under her bowl and sit between those 2 bowls of Wendy's, and she'll almost get the shot.
Danger is trying to steer your bowl under the head on the backhand. You just got to be careful. You're going to steer on the wider side, not the narrower
she's
side.
got very good green there for this.
Just question the weight, though. Is it going to hold up through that line?
It's actually not too bad.
Going to get
it's
past
not
the
too
front.
bad at all. Might be shot itself.
Get the jack with it.
She's
What a
got
magnificent bowl there from Karen De Jong. Absolutely magnificent bowl. And of course, the De Jong other bowl went to the back of the head, and they came out of that with 2 shots. Well, that was an amazing turnaround, wasn't it?
Absolutely. Heartbreaker, really, when you're holding 5 shots. But they weren't close, so.
Yeah, but it was really one of those ends, although it was only a couple of, 2 ends gone, or 3 ends gone of 18. It's a big turnaround in the scoring, isn't it? Because after dropping a 5 on the second end, and Karen De Jong was, I'm not going to say that she was fortunate to run into the jack, because as you said, Mary, it was always on a good line, that bowl, wasn't it? And, it was...
She just needs Jocelyn to come on now and have bowls round the head so she doesn't have to find that shot with the last bowl each end.
So there's the first bowl you'll see there of Jocelyn Holden, just goes by the 2 metre mark. The jack's a metre out from 2 metres. Interesting, you can see straight away here, with 2 ends gone, that backhand certainly seems to be the preferred hand, doesn't it?
It is.
And it's got a very nice draw back to the centre line, as we're seeing here. This bowl of Lynette McIntosh is just breaking into the head now, just goes by about 18 to 20 inches, but perfectly green, just far outside the centre line. But nothing. You've been playing the game a while, Mary. Nothing better to be on a green where you know very well that if you send your bowl out and get that green right, you're going to come back to the centre line and build good heads and give yourself every scoring chance. This bowler, Jocelyn Holton, the second bowl, is going to be short though.
And Lynette's is in a good spot. I mean, she can just adjust her weight now. It's good just to be just over the head with your first bowl, not too far, and just adjust your weight for your next shot.
The danger that Hinuera early in this match are getting into, though, and Pearce is a Leeds game, and Lynette McIntosh has started off with that consistency around the head, where perhaps Jocelyn Holton hasn't had that same consistency. And it certainly puts the skip under pressure. So another good bowl here from McIntosh. It's fine. It's over the head. Sits just outside the centre line. It's a metre over the head. Tauranga supporters arriving to support the men who are down on the bottom green here. 2 greens, as I say, here at Te Puke. On the backhand is Jocelyn Holton.
It looks a bit tight, does it?
Just needs to get past the front. It gets past the front, won't be far away from the shot, will it? Comes down towards the head now. Yeah, that'll make shot. Lower the jack, but sitting. So that's the sort of bowls that they need around the head, does the Hinuera side. So on the backhand again is Lynette McIntosh playing right down in front of us here, so we've got a pretty good view of this
Very
head
good line again.
Right in front of us here.
Might be a bit short.
Yeah, McIntosh got the weight to get to the shot bowl. No, leaves it a metre lower the jack. Now, marker indicates it is definitely 1 to Hinuera on this, the 4th end of 18. And just to remind you that we will be bringing you, that we're featuring this women's pairs game, but just to let you know that we will be bringing you updates from around the two greens here at Te Puke right throughout the day. Bringing a couple of updates throughout the day of the various games. In the women, of course, we've got Hinuera up against Nongataha in round one, Thames Coast playing Manuera Cosmopolitan. And in the men, we have got Frankton Junction, the Waikato Centre, playing Tauranga. And Manuera Cosmopolitan representing Counties Manukau, playing Coromandel, representing the Thames Valley. Here is Karen de Jong on this, the fourth end, holding the shot on the backhand. Looks to be on a fairly good line.
A very good line.
Just question how far is the weight going to get up towards that jack? Has it got enough? No, it hasn't. That's a good metre and a bit short. Shrug of the shoulders there from Karen de Jong. Matt's a metre low of the 2 metre mark. This bowler, Wendy Greens, always looks tight all the way, look tight out of the hand and going to do so. Just going to run in, got a feather, did it, and slipped by, slipped past 2 bowls. But it was though slightly on the narrow side. And you'll see Jocelyn Holton planting a foot out to the jack level area there. Get that bowl to draw back towards the centre line. That looks a better green, this bowl of Karen de Jong's. Just questioning that weight. How's that weight looking? It was still a wider green, really required. Mary missed.
Just missing a weight a bit.
Well,
there too.
I think obviously Karen de Jong is, I said they're the black bowls. They may be more of the older type, classic 2 type bowl.
Yes.
I'm not sure, but they've certainly got a wider draw line than what the others have got, that's for sure. Wendy Green now changing the hand onto the forehand, endeavouring to play up with the weight through the, trying to get to the shot bowl. And still the one shot.
Hinuera's just got the one shot on the head again. Yeah.
So again, here's Karen de Jong, and definitely out on a wider line. How's the weight now as it comes back? Definitely taking.
Pretty good to me.
It's now breaking in towards the head. It's going to be another bowl going to go past. In fact, it's the second deepest bolt on the green. So indication for Lynette McIntosh again, play that same shot to get to what is the shot bowl, which is the bowl of the lead of Hinuera, and here is.
It's on a very good line, this one. Oh,
just cutting away as this bowler, Wendy Greens, might get a bit of luck and did.
She's got.
But might be 2. Definitely one shot. Take the shot bowl out. They've got the measure out. Going to the blue bowl of Jocelyn Holton's. 2 it was. So
that's a very good start for Nongataha team. And I can see the Nongataha 4s are 2-4 down. Out there, and the singles are 5-2 up.
So the 4s I can see out there now. Yeah.
Sorry, Nongataha are 5-3 up actually over on the singles.
So Jack's been delivered in the pairs match between Lynette McIntosh and Wendy Green of Nongataha up against the Hinuera combination of Jocelyn Holton and Karen de Jong. And we've had 4 of the 18 ends completed. And it will be...
This is a bit tight for Lynette and maybe a bit on the short side. Yep.
And it is the Nongataha side leading 7-4 after 4 of the 18 ends. Holton on her forehand will need to certainly send the bowl out on that wide arc down towards that 2 metre mark and get past the front bowl of Lynette McIntosh's. Just needs to slip by it, going to slip by, but certainly has got weight on, but will finish on the centre line. Will it? No, it doesn't. Stay up. And really, Mary, it's also the pressure that goes on the Hinuera side fairly early. If you don't get bowls on the head, you can get yourself into, and we've seen Wendy Green, who's had the luxury of being able to play attacking shots to the head because of having bowls on the head. We see McIntosh get in towards the jack.
And Wendy's, that's one of her favourite shots really, is that little runner to sit bowls through. Very good at that.
Sensible move here, I think, from Hinuera going to the forehand, the backhand, where there's an open draw to the jack, rather than having the danger of forcing yourself past a bowl. And
it's a better one
there's
from
a better
Jocelyn.
bowl. This is going to finish at about 11 o'clock, higher the jack, but so plenty of room though for Lynette McIntosh on that backhand. Very nice delivery, got that bowl out, looked to be on a good arc out of the hand. It's coming down towards the centre line, but it's not going to have the weight really.
Still could do with a pinch more green as
it
well.
does. Finish, lower the jack. Here's a great chance here for Hinuera. You might have heard Karen de Jong just say, draw inside your own and you'll be close to, well, you definitely have the shot, that's for sure. Sends the bowl out on that wider arc. Jocelyn Holton just trying to slow it down as it comes down towards the head. Looks
to be short
looks to be on a pretty good line.
Very
Gets
good
inside. Well played
Very
from the Hinuera lead, and it's 2 shots. You'll see our marker, Caitlin Thompson, with the lollipops, the red lollipops, indicating that it is 2 shots to Hinuera.
Caitlin's mum's playing in the 4s for Hinuera.
Oh,
Angela Stevens.
Family affair, and as I say, there's the regional events today right throughout the country for this regional Interclub. The regional, and of course, the regional winners will go forward to the national final, national Interclub final, which will be played later in the year. On the back end is Wendy Green, and certainly it's got a different line with her bowl. Tries to get to the jack, just goes by, will go to the ditch. But you can see, though, definitely Mary on that backhand side, Wendy's bowl, she can certainly play with a wee bit narrower line than what the...
Yeah, although that was very narrow, that, I thought. She probably needs a little bit more green just to come in under those bowls out there, just to get the shot.
Well, you'll see this bowl to Karen de Jongs indicates that it's certainly on the very, very wide side, but it'll come back, but it won't come back enough. But, yeah, weight was pretty good, actually, indicated in there from from Jocelyn Holton. That was finished jack level, so Wendy Green want to try and improve that line on the backhand.
Just needs more green than that, I think.
Well, if you notice at the point of delivery, trying to be a real theorist, that gave a bit of a squeeze out of the hand, but this is going to be the shot, I would say. Has it got the weight to get all the way down? Don't think so. Good line, but was the call. And you would have heard there, Jocelyn Holton just saying to Karen de Jong, just beat, draw inside your bowl and beat my bowl. There's a flick out of that backhand delivery from Karen de Jong, but if you do it every time, I suppose it doesn't make much difference. But at flick, I'm sure...
She might just pick the jack here.
Might do.
I think she might. That'll give them 3 shots.
And it's a touch on the jack. And just the one now. Moved the jack the wrong way,
there's
actually.
One down the bottom.
Yeah.
One behind it there from Lynette's bowl.
So, Wendy Green asking, do we have a couple of seconds now? So, obviously, the front bowl and the back bowl. So, I think we'll see Green try and swoop down on that backhand to get to the jack or sit the shot bowl out. And certainly playing with weight. Well, that looked very narrow out of the hand. Even playing with that weight. And got her own bowl. With her own bolt out, will it make any difference? Well, what it does do, of course, Mary, is it does open
Brings
another...
another one
well,
in for
well, it brings another meter to be able to draw the shot as well, doesn't it?
Yep, and they've got 2 now, Hinuera. Wendy took their second shot out, so...
So, Karen de Jong, with her last bowl, gets past his front bowl, needs to slow down now, so sit on the blue bowl, and does, turns that in towards the head. And there's 2 been taken out as we finish the 15, putting the measure on for the definitely the run shot that was a bit askew, definitely brought another counter in, that's for sure. And you can see it's a fairly long measure, really, Mary, isn't it?
I think so, and it's going to be close to see who's got that third shot. Depends how far Wendy set it out, really.
7-4 at the end of the 4th end, but it'll be Hinuera who'll definitely be putting...
Yeah, just 2.
2 it is. So, 7-6.
Tight game.
Tight game, and interesting, there's literally charts of numbers at just about every end.
There is, yes.
So, Jocelyn Holden from Hinuera with the mat. And interesting, Mary looks as though they're endeavouring to try and shorten it up a bit. Have they really done so? Jack's delivered down B. Oh, it's a 3/4, just under a 3/4 length head. So interesting that we've seen Jocelyn Holton there changing her hand, playing that forehand. It was her opening bolt. Didn't feel confident on the backhand. To me, the backhand looked a good draw shot option, but here's a good opening bolt here from Holton. Going to go by the Jack, metre and a bit, metre and a half, but right on the centre line. And the net
sticking to the backhand there.
Yeah, I just think it looks...
experience, really.
It is. I think it just looks to have a kind of draw. You know, I've always thought, if you're playing on a very good green, a good green, the backhand does give you that, if you're leading especially, the backhand does give you that what I call natural arc backhand towards the centre line. I just think it's and that's indicated there from that first bowl just played by Lynette McIntosh, which finished right on the centre line and right in behind the Jack. And already I think you can see, Mary, that they are 2 different lines on that. The draw on the forehand, to me, already doesn't look to have as kind of draw.
It's not as kind, and that's Lynette's experience of sticking to that hand, not changing. She knows where her line is. She's a very good green taker as well. And
Wendy Green urging this bowl on a lead.
Just a speed.
And just the one at this stage. And the option here, Jocelyn Holton's got a draw in sight. Her own blue bowl, get towards the... You'll see the shot bowl of Lynette McIntosh. This is sitting right on the centre line.
She's played a tighter line.
Definitely played a tighter line.
Yep.
Is it going to get past the front bowl? Hasn't got the weight though to get all the way to the Jack, and you would know from your many years of playing, for example, with Sharon Sims, Mary, that how you can set a game up playing pairs.
It's a leads game. Occasionally when you're not there, you've got to have your skip, but most of the time, it's a leads game.
And a good arc on the bowl here. This bowl from McIntosh as it comes. You just see that beautiful draw as it comes towards the centre line, and if you're skipping and you change over, that's the bowls you feel comfortable with around the head, don't you?
Oh, absolutely, yes. Gives you confidence when your lead's sitting like that, right on the line.
Well, because what it means for the opposition, of course, as well for the Karen de Jong skip side is, their options are less. They've actually forced themselves into a situation here, really, where the only chance of the shot is literally on the forehand because they've committed themselves to that hand. And see whether De Jong Yeah, she's
Yep,
going.
she's
Looks
going
as though
forehand.
going to that forehand side.
Big deep breath there.
Well, the margin of error now becomes far less, doesn't it, Mary? Because you can very, very easy slip by. But this looks a pretty good opening bowl here from Karen de Jong on this, the 16, and
Oh, she's
just going to slip by it. And
just a wee bit on the tight side.
yeah, weight was pretty good, really, for a touch on the jack as well. And it's interesting to see Wendy
playing
Green.
that
That's
hand.
very
Yeah, I thought she
interesting.
would've-
I thought she'd have stuck onto the backhand, and even if it's to finish on that same outside line as the Karen de Jong bowl, would have been okay. It's going to sit and hold. It may do.
Yep.
It does is 3. Well, the forehand definitely now with that, where that bowl of Wendy Green finished lower the jack, the forehand draw is really all that she's that Karen's got. Definitely got this bowl out on a wider arc. This doesn't look too bad actually. Mary, how's the weight as it comes down towards it? Just going to dip on that weight. Is it going to get second shot? It's a great effort though
Very
for
good
Karen
effort,
de Jong,
very good.
whatever the result.
Yep.
It's the one. Very good bowl from the Hinuera skip.
Oh,
And
that looks tight from Wendy.
there's a touch on the jack, she'll be okay. And is it going to get all the way down to the De Jong
Oh,
bowl?
she
That
is.
is, and gets a touch on the jack. It'll make 3.
Great bowl.
And
Great bowl.
just a touch on the jack. Now, there's 3.
It's made it hard for Karen now.
Well, really, it's only the weight on you. You've got to take the gamble to try and force your way through that gap of those 2 front bowls. Because I can't really see, it's a 1-bowl target, literally, isn't it, on that? So on the backhand, with weight through the bowls, you could get some reduction. You could get to
could.
the shot bowl.
She could spin the jack out there to the back bowls.
And they are Hinuera bowls, but going to stay on the forward. Now, this is a difficult shot, Mary. I'm sure you would agree. Playing to a 1-bowl target, trying to get it. And really,
Oh, she's going to stay on that
well,
forehand.
it gives the appearance endeavouring to draw second shot. That's really on that forehand. That's really what the option is. Got the bowl out on a very, very good arc and checking the weight as it comes. Has it got the weight to get all the way down to that reduction area? Not quite, I don't think.
Very good try.
And straight away we saw the Net McIntosh indicating to Wendy Green, you get out on that backhand, but she played that magnificent bowl, did Green with his second one, just got a touch on the jack and moved the jack just a couple of centimetres, and there is what we spoke about before. Mary, was 2 Lynette McIntosh's well-played bowls just sitting in the catching pen, and
Wendy was just a wee bit tight and light with that one.
so there's 2 taken out, and
Yep.
just checking with that last Karen de Jong bowl, cut one of the counting bowls out of the Nongataha side. 2 have been taken out, and it is, of course, Nongataha who were leading 7-6 going into that end. So Wendy Green with the measure. Now we'll go to her bowl, which is in behind the jack. Looks like 3. It was 3.
I can see the score over there for the Nongataha Hinuera, and Nongataha are up 11-3 on the singles by the look of it.
Well, and they played 21, I presume, is it?
Yeah, 21 or
20,
25?
21, 25. I'm not 100% sure of that, actually. Just checking if I've got something here.
Funny feeling it's 21.
Someone has said to us here that it's 21. So that's a great start. But as you would well know, Mary, although if I remember rightly, you were never a great fan of playing singles, were you really?
Not really. I mean, I did pretty well, but singles
You
set
did. You certainly did.
Singles set you up really well for leading in the pairs, and pairs is probably my favourite. and I'm still leading in the pairs, really.
Well, you know, you and Sharon Sims, of course, had that fantastic record, didn't you, when you were playing out of the Manawatu and leading for Sharon? And
Absolutely.
fantastic record. National titles, and of course, both of you playing for New Zealand at the same time?
Yes, yeah.
But as you well know, in singles, you never ran out of ends, just ran out of points, don't you?
Absolutely. But as I say, it sets you up.
Absolutely.
Everyone should play singles because it just sets you up. It teaches you to take your green,
Absolutely.
shots on the head, and then when you go into a team game, it stands you in good stead, really. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. If you certainly go back through the New Zealand players who have represented New Zealand with great results in the singles, they have also been very, very good team players. If we go back to the last World Championships, of course, you know, players like Mike Kernahan, Shannon McElroy in the men, you know, they were, and Gary Lawson, they were fantastic singles players in their own rights, you know. Joe Edwards, Val Smith, of course, Joe's no longer available, but you know, fantastic singles players as well as being, you know, some of the world best. And
Patsy Jorgensen from here was
Jorgensen.
another one from here. Great singles player and did really well when she played for New Zealand, and in team games too.
I know a lady that played in a lot of positions for New Zealand. A little short lady played singles.
Oh, she did, Marlene Castle, yes.
Just recently got awarded, along with Craig Monk and Glenn Osborne, into the Sports North Harbour Hall of Fame.
Oh, fantastic.
For her achievements on the green. Strangely, literally, I suppose you could say, a Sport New Zealand award in some regard, which her daughter's now the CEO of.
Absolutely, yes.
Not that had any bearing on it
No.
So, Jocelyn Holden trying to get
This
underneath
looks like
the
a pretty
bowl.
good bowl,
Needs to
really.
sit inside the bowl to get shot, but certainly made to make second shot. And again, it's that consistency that Lynette McIntosh showing, because of the 7 ends we've played, Mary, it's been the Nongataha side have been holding the shots most at the changeover, haven't they?
I think Karen's kept Hinua in the game a bit at this stage.
She has. And of course, the other thing playing this format as well, when you're your singles player who's going so well, 11-4 now, I see, and it makes such a big difference because you start watching the board on the other games, as you know, because you get that singles game under the belt early on, and then you've got your pairs and fours, it becomes very much, you know,
Two wins in this round is really good.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, I think the fours are down for Nongataha, but they're not far behind at this stage. But
so, what's your thoughts? Because of the COVID thing, we had a lot of things got changed around. But as you would remember from your days in the Manawatu, and that we traditionally played the regional format, and really what the COVID scenario has seen us go back to that, really, hasn't it?
It has.
And it's not all bad, is it?
It's not all bad. I prefer to go to the big finals. I think this year some teams pulled out, so
it was it was very disappointing, actually.
We had some centres.
Ball here from Karen de Jong, draws inside
bowl
for shot.
Yeah, we had some centres only play three sort of centres playing together. We had 4, some had 6.
There was down the south. There was some big varieties, and it was surprising and somewhat disappointing.
And it made a big difference to the points system.
It did. Oh, looking for the jack here is Wendy Green, just going to sit outside the bowl. Great effort.
Try.
But the good thing about that bowl then, though, Mary, although not getting the shot itself, had good controlled weight to still give them another bowl on the head, isn't it?
And they're holding at least 2 seconds.
2 seconds, and that's, you're not losing your bowl, although you're in sort of not so much attacking, but you're playing with scoring weight, but getting your bowl in around the head.
And Karen's under pressure to get another one there, really, which looks as though she's pretty well there.
She's pretty well down
If she
here. May
sits
well
Lynette's-
sit the bowl
Yes, uses that.
and goes
Oh,
by
very
and
good.
sits a toucher, in
Very
fact,
good.
is it? Sits right and behind. So that was a very, very good outcome from the Hinuera side. And
I think Wendy will go quicker at this.
yeah, I'm sure that's and may well search down there with weight on the backhand to play through those bowls and try and get some. And playing with a lot of weight,
Oh,
but
she's
here's
missed a
that
line
line
there,
that looked
very much.
narrow out of the hand. Might get a bit of luck
Absolutely.
here of a feather. No, it
Yeah.
doesn't. Got a wide bowl, but was quite a way off target.
Almost could have come on the other hand, I think.
Well, absolutely.
you know, sat that front bowl and
Well, that's what, I thought that's what she would have elected to play, but always swinging away there on that backhand. It Julie did. So Karen de Jong, two very, very good bowls on this end, down 10-6. And again, this bowl is on a good arc as well. Is it going to sit on the bowl or just duck in there? This is three good bowls
three
here
good
from Karen de
bowls.
Jong. These are
very
well
good.
played.
3 shots to Karen. Very good.
They were three. Yeah, well, the 3 shots were all hit the Karen de Jong bowls.
Yep.
So 7 ends gone now and 10-9. So that was very good turnaround from the Hinuera skip. Turn that into 3 shots.
She just needs Jocelyn just to come on a bit. Oh, the wind's getting up a bit.
You
out
could hear
there
that.
now.
You might have heard and I'm looking at the covers hit there, and yeah, you can just see them looking up. Just got a bit of a quick gust of wind. Jack went dead, so I'm picking. We'll see. Lynette McIntosh will go for a longer length than what. Looking there, I'm looking at the cloths there of the players. Mary, and there's certainly just fluttering and a bit of breeze
A
there.
bit of breeze has come up. It was quite still this morning, and it's a cool breeze.
It is. But we've certainly, this season, we've been certainly blessed with magnificent weather, right throughout the whole season, really. We haven't had many days where you had to listen to the cancellations. They've been, the weather's, we've had
The Bay have had a stunning season, really, bowls-wise.
Yeah, this is the sort of opening bowl that Karen de Jong has been looking for from
Yes.
her lead. And it
staying
goes
on
by from by a metre, but the good thing was it was on that forehand side and was definitely, in the target area right from the outset, quickly onto the backhand as Lynette McIntosh, the holder of 15 Bay of Plenty titles, got the bowl out on a very nice arc. Just question how far is it going to run towards the jack, still moving down towards the centre line. And we'll finish just jack level. That's a very good opening
Very good
bowl.
bowl.
Just
Yeah.
highlights is what Mary's been talking about. That consistency. It's been displayed by Lynette McIntosh and in pairs, of course. As we know, that's what sets things up. Definitely ducked under the line with this bowl, did Jocelyn Holton. And Julie does so. Finish jack level.
I think Jocelyn needs to get back onto Lynette's hand, really. Even if she gets in the way of Lynette.
I was just going to say, Mary, on that backhand side, and I just watched Jocelyn Holton there. Now, I'm not being critical, but I am really. If you just stood on the mat there and just watched that line of and as you would know, the really experienced players watch a line.
They do.
And I'd be certainly following that line.
And if you're not actually getting shot or getting near, and Lynette's out leading you, you play her hand.
Absolutely.
And more than often, you'll draw the shot on her hand, or you get in her way, one or the other.
So this is a good effort from Holton, but it's going to just go by on the head on that forehand. But
I think
again,
she's just struggling there, really.
And I agree with you entirely. You've got 2 bowls there. One right on the centre line, one jack level from Lynette McIntosh, and even as you rightly say, you may not going to get the shot, but even if you're just giving a free hand.
Oh, she's giving Lynette a free run.
Yeah,
She really is at the moment.
and
It's
you
a little
can't.
bit tight from Lynette.
Wendy Green is a bit nervous with that one on the way through. You thought might have got a flick on the back of the jack and would have gone would have moved away from the nice position that it sits at present. But of course, what it does do straight away is we just saw Karen de Jong the previous year draw 3 really good shots.
Yep.
But you can't keep doing it.
No, you can't, and that's where I think Jocelyn just has to change her hand.
And of course, what you're really doing as well with it is you would know when you're changing over now. Saying, well, do I play the backhand? Do I play the forehand? What do I, And it just becomes challenging because you haven't got any of your bowls in around the head that you can either sit on or move to, or so you're really playing the dead draw game throughout, aren't you?
Yeah, and this is what Karen's having to do every end. That looks a bit wide.
That looks wide and heavy to me, and she's turned her back on it.
But and that's pressure.
Well, you go through the old dilemma, don't you? You don't want to be short, and and immediately you put yourself in a position where you can be looking at playing your last bowl, and you're 4 down, and that's quite on the cards. And this is well greened here from Wendy Green. This bowl, her first bowl on the 8th end as it comes down in towards the centre line now.
Very good bowl.
Very good bowl. Now, I'm going to say it now. The shot is to follow that bowl.
It is.
You're just playing at one bowl, hopes going down there. Now, I'm not saying that Karen de Jong can't draw the shot at all. We know she can. But it's
a better line from Karen, and she has played this hand
this
pretty
is going
well.
to be under, though, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But it's about percentages, isn't it?
It is. And just getting second shot there. Second shot's a great shot for a team that's down. And quite often you play for second shot and you'll get the shot. But playing the opposition's hands...
Oh, Wendy Green.
Oh, she's tight
She's
here.
tight here, you can see.
Yeah.
And it's Elstrud trying to force underneath
have
that
a bit of
bowl.
weight to hold it up, though.
If Wendy Green's within a metre, she's going to have a counter. And she will do.
She may be forcing Karen to play the other hand now, and she may draw the shot out there.
I just wonder, though, that bigger drawing bowl of Karen de Jong's, and she's now got that bowl out to the side of the head. She's got, if she gets too far under that bowl, she's going to finish up in no man's land. It's certainly out on that wider arc, as we know she needs with those bowls. Does de Jong 4 down, needs to get under this bowl cleanly to have a chance.
Yeah, I think Wendy's forced her to play that shot.
And it might have opened the door for her. No, it doesn't. Will more than likely cut. There's more than likely cut a couple out. Might still be 3. I'm looking at the marker indicating Caitlin Thompson. But it's I know it's easy to say, Mary, but I suppose, both you and I, you've played enough bowls to sort of understand the psychology of getting the best results, or percentage shots, I suppose you could say.
Percentage shots, yeah.
So here's Wendy Green again.
Wendy, but
doesn't want the back of the jack by any chance on the way through. Not going to. Well played for her.
Very good bowl.
And
it could be 4 shots there, or maybe 5.
So I'll start kicking them out. It really comes to you'll see there's 3 bowls there. The black bowl with the yellow ring around it is the Hinuera bowl. But it's so difficult, Miriam Pears, when even that last end when Hinuera did pick up the 3 shots, they were playing from a behind position from that.
Absolutely, yeah.
It just makes it that much harder, doesn't it?
The lead just has to have bowls around the head. They don't have to have shot.
No, absolutely not.
They just have to have bowls around the head. And when I played for Sharon, she was very happy if I had 3 bowls sitting a foot behind the jack, because she knew she could draw the jack to my bowls.
Well, they're as good as counters.
Yeah.
They really.
It's 3. It's 4.
And now again, there's one out on the side here, and as Mary indicated, this one might be in, it's not in. 4. And that's a big end. And of course, why that becomes a big end, besides jumping out to a 14-9 lead after just dropping a 3 and being won the difference. It just changes the whole game around Mary, doesn't it? You know, from where you were just about there.
Just about, and then now you're back under the pump again.
At the halfway mark.
Yep. The Nongataha 4 have come up.
That's 7-6 now.
7-6 now, and the singles, is that 17?
17. If that's right, there's no one. I can see no one's on the mat at present, but looking at that scoreboard, it's 17-4.
So that's Vinny playing Debbie.
So is that 17-4 to Hinuera?
Nongataha. Ah, sorry.
Because I'm just going.
Sorry, it is. It is Hinuera. Sorry.
So I'm just
it's
looking
round
at
the
those
other way.
boards should be, if going by what we've got here.
Yes, and same here. Nongataha 7-6.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was reading the boards the wrong way.
Yeah. So.
Yep. So we're.
Well, now you could say the fours game here could become the
important
big game, couldn't it?
It could, absolutely. Yeah. Sorry, I read that the wrong way.
Well, providing they've got them up as they should do.
Should be, yes.
That's what it should be. So we'll get an update shortly, but yeah, you're quite right. 17-4. I don't know what's this. Must be measuring over something over there, Mary, because there's no one moving over there. But yes, definitely 17-4. And that is Hinuera, who would be on the top of the board.
Yes.
So it is.
And Lynette's not far away from the jack this time.
She's been very consistent, has Lynette McIntosh. And just another point on this leading scenario, really, Wendy, is that Lynette McIntosh is playing the same, but whereas the chopping, so to speak, from Jocelyn.
Chopping and changing, yeah.
You've got those two different lines, haven't you? You know,
you
so
do.
backhand.
And weight. The weight's usually a bit different on both hands.
Lynette McIntosh, she'll endeavour just to adapt by a metre back to the centre line and got the bowl again out on it. Very, very nice arc on this very, very good Te Puke green. So running about 17.5 seconds, but just going to go by on the wide side. As long as it stays up, though, it's all right. Won't do so. Goes towards the ditch and does. So in the men, I can tell you very quickly in the Frankton Junction v Tauranga, and the singles, it is Frankton Junction, it is leading 14-5. 14-5, Frankton Junction leading. In the pairs, it's Tauranga leading 7-2 after 7 ends. And in the fours, it's all locked up at 4 ends after 6 ends. In the other men's game, that's been Manuera up against Coromandel. It's Coromandel leading the singles by 14-11. In the pairs, it's Coromandel leading 7-6. And in the fours, it's Manuera leading 11-0. And we'll get you an update on the ladies in but a moment. So in those men's ones in this early stage, Mary, the Frankton Junction Tauranga game, well, singles is looking favourable for Frankton Junction.
Yes.
And then the other two, that could come down to the fours.
It could come down to fours again. Yes, absolutely.
And then the Manuera Coromandel game, 14-11 in the singles, that's anybody's. In the pairs, 7-6 to Coromandel, that's anybody's. But in the fours, Manuera with that 11-0 lead. So
just getting those two games makes a huge difference, doesn't it? Because then you get the two match points as well.
Absolutely. So this is more than likely the sort of loosest end that we've seen from the leads here in round one of the National Interclub playoffs in this match between Hinuera of the Waikato and Nongataha, of course, of the Bay of Plenty. And it would be the front bowl of Lynette's, which is the shot. That's a metre, isn't it?
She's probably, yeah.
Yep, they touched.
Those bowls touched. So Wendy was on a very good line there as well.
So there'll be 3 rounds here played today, and we know there's not going to be any weather interruption. Not a cloud in the sky here at Te Puke. Absolutely perfect conditions.
It's cooling down a bit though, isn't it?
It is.
Even though the sun's out, it's...
You can feel it. You can feel that bit of a nip, can't you? So there's the ball played here from...
Well played, Wendy.
Yeah, just draws the shot, would just literally be jack level. And Karen de Jong now trailing by 14 shots to 9 on her forehand. Needs to get past the front bowl of Jocelyn Holton's to draw down to that counting area.
It's on a very good line. I don't know about her weight though. Just her line was great.
Karen de Jong, of course.
Oh, a bit tight.
The daughter of one of the legends of was Auckland Bowls, now at counties, Josh de Jong, who hit the he's hit the big 100 and used to play at the Mission Bay Club in Auckland, and an iconic figure around the greens of Auckland was the little fella. And talking to him after he had hit the 3 figures, still like to go down to the Buckland Bowling Club.
Oh, good on him.
Yeah.
Gosh.
On the forehand now, here's Karen de Jong. First bowl really was ineffective. This bowl seems to be looked on a
She's
better
got
line.
better weight with this.
Better line out of the hand. Needs to get down towards, she sits inside of this bowl, desperately unlucky really there. Mary looked as though it was going to sit on one of those 2 counting bowls, had good weight to do so.
Still holding 2. Ngataha. This looks tighter from Wendy.
Certainly is. That's
Very
down.
much tighter.
That's certainly under the line, isn't it? We can see that quite clearly. But if it sits inside the bowl, no, it won't run all the way. But so there's really a good
Pressure here.
it is, but there's a good line there now with that. Just to draw inside that front bowl of Jocelyn Holton's on that. And again, the bowl looks on a fairly good.
It's on a very good line.
It's on a good arc. It's going to get all the way down towards the jack of the bowl.
Good.
Looks pretty good. Is it going to get that jack? Is it a toucher?
Oh, great shot.
Well played.
Great shot.
Magnificent bowl there from Karen de Jong. Down on the head and drew perfectly for one. A much needed one. But if you start to summarise the game, though, really, though, Mary, it's the bowls that Karen de Jong's having to play or does play that's really putting the points on the board, isn't it?
It is, and all her experience is coming out there, I guess, to just get that shot or second shot. She just needs a little bit of help here.
Yeah, just a good head to change over with would be helpful. And there, Jack's been delivered at a different length, right to the 2 metre mark. Has Jocelyn Holton delivered that Jack right down in front of us here at the Te Puke Club. And on the forehand.
She's sticking to it, isn't she?
Sticking to that forehand.
If she gets it, it'll be good, but she just needs
to have the weight.
She needs to beat Lynette to the jack.
And that's about 2 metres lower the jack, right on the centre line, straight away opening the gate for the Net McIntosh on the back end, where she's played right throughout this whole game and has played with that consistency. Certainly got it out on that nice wide arc. Just going to question the weight, though. Really, is going to.
It looks pretty good to me. It's just a bit short.
It's going to come up lower the jack, but we're certainly on that good line to So time to improve by a couple of metres here from the lead for the Hinuera side. Jocelyn Holton's got the bowl out on a good arc. How much more weight has it been given? Has it got enough? No, it's not. The green this morning opened up at 17 seconds.
It's a nice speed to be playing. It's perfect speed, really. Annette looks as though she's coming under her bowl there a bit tight. Oh.
And the bowl finishing, jack level, but again, we see pressure on the Hinuera side as Jocelyn Holton about to play her last bowl on this, the 10th of 18 ends, and
this looks a better speed. She slips around that, or
needs to hold up without touching anything. Oh, got a bit of a fortuitous slide, and we'll make shot of it. In fact,
still plenty of room there to draw.
There
a
is
shot.
on that backhand side, and it was clearly indicated by a skip by Wendy Green. Just draw past. Don't sacrifice your line, and certainly got the bowl out on that good big arc coming down towards us here in the clubhouse. If this runs all the way, Mary, this is going to be close to get inside the shot bowl. It's well played from the lead there from the.
Not so good a head from Lynette this time, but she still has shot. I think Nongataha are down in the 4s, 7-11.
So this pair there, well.
Oh, here we go.
So here's the ladies' updates for you from around the greens. And we've got in the Emanuela Thames Coast game, it is Thames Coast who are leading the singles by 13-11. 13-11, it is Thames Coast leading in the singles. In the pairs, it is Emanuela leading 9-4 after 9 ends. In the 4s, it is Thames Coast leading 10-8 after 10-8 after 7. So really, that's anybody's game.
It is.
There, isn't it? There's nothing really in that one. And in the Hinuera Nongataha match, the one that we're covering here, the singles, it is the Hinuera leading, well, it was 17-6. It's Debbie White leading 17-6 in her singles match. In the pairs, of course, that's the game that we're covering down in front of you here, and it is 19-14. Sorry, 14-10. My apologies. 14-10 to the Rotorua side, and in the 4s, it is Hinuera leading 11-7. So this
tight, really,
it's all pretty tight in round 1 here of the playoff, and it is the bowl of Lynette McIntosh
Still holding the shot.
Still holding the shot, just outside it's right on the 2 metre mark. And Karen De Jong now, who's played some magnificent recovery shots. Just question that line, needs to get into her own, won't turn her own over a couple of times. Would need to do that and gets the touch on the bowl. Falls in. Still favour the Wendy Green bowl. They're looking closely at it. Having a good look around the head is Lynette. Well, it's a good draw there under the bolt. Jack Low bowl there of Lynette McIntosh is still a good opportunity there.
It's actually a good draw on either side too, really.
How's the weight making its way towards the centre line in the counting area? This is well played.
Great bowl.
But great bowl from the Nongataha skip. Sits jack level. And of course, De Jong here her best chance, of course, if she can get a touch on the jack, just seeing if it's 1 or 2. Just having a look, putting the old measure over the top, the finger measure over the top, to see whether it is 1 or 2. Must be close. Close was the call,
Right.
but favour Hinuera. So Karen de Jong really could afford to play through there with a wee bit of
She could,
yard of
yes.
weight through there to give herself to the shot bowl or the jack. And hard shot, but that's well, needs to start working now inside the line, not outside the line with that weight. Not going to get a feather, is it? That's a good effort, but needed really to be just a tighter line, really, didn't it? Just to play with that, because definitely with
Karen, she had her bowls to run through as well.
She did. And Karen de Jong was definitely playing with that weight to get a result. And here now is Wendy Green with her last bowl on this, the 10th end, and certainly narrowed that up. But we saw with the last bowl, gets underneath bowl, she's closed, not going to run into the bowl. It does. So we know that the second bowl of Wendy Green's was definitely the shot. Now the measure coming out for, and I see Debbie White walking along here. So
she's got her singles.
Her singles match is finished. So that's one in the bag now for Hinuera.
So it's definitely going to come down to this fours, I think.
It looks like
stage.
it. It does look like that.
They're
And
15 ends, are they? 15 ends in the fours?
I think so. We'll get someone to check. I think it's 15 ends. So now measuring for another one here. Was 2.
2.
So after 10 ends, this is a handy little break now for the Ngātaha side. 16-10, and as Mary rightly said, that fours game is running in favour of Hinuera by 13 shots to 7, and Debbie White's already got she's got the singles locked away, so the fours is most likely, unless we see a big turnaround here. But look, 2 ends. There's plenty of 2 ends can change all around very quickly, Mary.
Absolutely, yes, yeah.
So as we said to you, that jack, just checking whether it's in. It is in. So as we indicated before in the men's, the last update we had, the game between Frankton Junction and Tauranga. It is Frankton Junction leading the singles 14-5. In the pairs, it's Tauranga leading Frankton Junction 7-2. And in the fours, boy, that's really tight at that point, 4 apiece. And in the Manuera game up against Coromandel, is Coromandel leading the singles by 14-11. And Coromandel also leading the pairs 7-6. And in the fours, it was Manuera leading by 11-0. And in the match between the other match here, of course, we've got Manuera playing Thames Coast. And in the singles, it was Thames Coast leading 13-11. It was Manuera leading the pairs 9-4 after 9. And after 7 ends in the fours, it was Thames Coast leading 10-8. So another good opening bowl here from
Lynette
McIntosh, isn't it?
The second shot from her as well. It's a little bit over, but it's a very good bowl.
Oh,
when you'll be happy with that? 1 on and 1 behind?
Well, with the scoreboard and where things are sitting, you're pretty happy. You're pretty happy with that, really, aren't you?
You are. As a skip, that's good lead bowls.
So I can confirm that Debbie White, Hinuera, defeated the Ngātaha in that singles match by 21 shots to 6. So that's one in the bag in round 1 here. 3 rounds, of course, today. So on the backhand again is
Lynette McIntosh.
And again, just the line's a wee bit tighter, but it's got a bit of weight, is it? Going to get to the jack.
Very good bowl.
Just goes by, yep. But very good changing over. Well, of course, I've still got a bowl to come yet from Jocelyn Holton, but we've seen Lynette McIntosh yet again set things up pretty well for her skip. And Jocelyn Holton really struggled to get that consistency. Needs to be.
She looks as though she's short here.
Needs to
under
be
that
inside,
bowl.
and she is. And again,
Great line, but just a metre and a half short, probably.
But the problem we're seeing, though, really, Mary, is that literally every end, Karen de Jong is playing from.
She's under pressure.
She's under
every
pressure
end.
every end, isn't she?
Yeah.
And you know, you can do it a few ends, but you certainly to do it for 18 ends, it's certainly it's tough. And the old adage that, you know, pairs is a leads game. Well, the lead is the key to
certainly is.
You know,
Yeah. And Lynette's such an experienced lead. Her and Wendy have played together for a long, long time, and Lynette's actually set the head up many a time.
Another
Very
good
good
ball
bowl
here.
from Wendy.
Just sits lower the jack. You'll see it there
It
on the
puts
screen.
more pressure on.
Just big pressure now. Well, it's not just scoreboard pressure. It's match pressure as well, isn't it?
It is,
really.
it is. Yep. And really, they can't look at the scoreboard at this stage. They just need to look at the head and getting second shot. And if they happen to get shot, then they can start building on it.
Well, you're right, Mary, because when you're down on the head like this and you start sort of looking for shots, you can, and there's the bowl slipping by.
Exactly.
We look now, you know, we're looking at 4 down right now.
Absolutely.
So,
Yeah.
one, you're running, the ends are running by, and you're running, you know, you just...
And Wendy needs to put a bowl here on the line again, not anything sticking out to the side that Karen can use.
Well, that's a very good thing about that. You're right about that first bowl, because it's right on the centre line.
It's right on the centre line, so there's nothing for her to use. And here's
this is
another
gonna
very good bowl as well.
Wow, now here's where you play down. That falls in, makes it harder. If it was sitting up,
If it was sitting up, it was a great shot.
It was a great shot, but
Yeah.
now it's sat down. But look, you've got to play through there with
You
weight,
do.
Mary,
You do.
don't you? There's no other shot, really, to try and dead draw.
Because if she sits on Wendy's bowl and pushes the jack back, the jack could go all the way
She's
back.
got to play right through the
She does. And she's going to.
narrow.
Very narrow.
You could see that was really...
And she might take their back bowl out.
Yeah, well,
Yes.
so that was literally steered out of the hand, but it really, really, Mary, it comes back from the first 3 bowls.
It does. The pressure. Yep.
And I'm sure here, with this very important end, that Wendy Green certainly won't want to, as you
Make a
rightly
target.
said, no, and she'll be more than happy just to sit.
Just draw to that blue bowl at the back there. Just beat that, and she's got another shot.
And that's exactly
without
what she's going
building
to
the
do,
head.
provided she's jack high, which
Yep.
she's going to be.
Very
every,
good bowl.
every it will count. So now, of course, well, I just heard the call there from Jocelyn Hotmore, drawing into those. Well, so yeah.
It's pretty hard.
I was just going to say, you're really not sure what shots you're really playing,
No.
are you? And that's a lot wider, this particular bowl of Karen de Jong's. But again, then it depends upon the weight, doesn't it, of how far you go.
She may have cut some mat. Oh, no, she
I
didn't.
don't think
no.
so. Out of 2, 3, 4, I reckon it's,
Another 5.
I reckon it's 5.
Could be more.
So they need the clothesline out there. It's 5. It's 5 that's come out, hasn't it? I think.
You're 5 at the moment.
But it comes back to, really, this all comes back to the old essence of pairs. Hey, you've got to get, it's the start that counts. And as been said numerous times by Mary throughout this coverage, that it's the lead, that the start that the lead gives you, that really makes a big difference. And we've seen in this particular case, we've seen Lynette McIntosh has been consistent right throughout the match and has stayed on one hand. So
Yep.
she's got to wait. She knows where she's going. And really, if you think about it, Mary, she just consistently come back to the centre line, bowl after bowl after bowl.
She's such a good green taker, Lynette. Very good green taker.
So I think it was 6. Was
6.
It
That's a
was.
bit of a huge blow there.
Certainly was. And, you know, if you look at the board, though, if you look at it, we've had a 5, a 4 and a 6.
Absolutely.
Hard to win pairs, isn't
Hard
it?
to win pairs when you're doing that. Yeah. Just,
You got very and you know, we're looking 2, 2, 2 and single net. That's
Yep.
showing
and
you.
most of those have been the skips bowls.
I was just going to say it highlights that
Yeah.
there's not a lot of bowls on the head, is there?
No, there isn't. There isn't. And, you know, Jocelyn should be really thinking about playing Lynette's hand.
Oh, absolutely.
All the way now.
Just see in the Debbie White just came past here, 22-10 now in this pairs. So Hinuera.
And this is another very good bowl from Lynette.
It's just, well, it's about owning the centre line, isn't it?
It is.
You know, it's owning a metre and owning the centre line.
And Jocelyn sticking to the other hand, and she really should have been changing.
Well, it's about that consistency of the bowls, isn't it? You know, and it goes by. More than you had good at line, but 2 metres over now. At this point, just leaves it all the way open. Now, this is going to come down very interesting. With Karen, with the singles being locked away by Debbie White, and now the 4s, Hinuera 4s, in fact, leading 13-9 after 9 ends.
That's close.
That's close.
Yeah.
The pairs, I'm no tipster, but I'm pretty confident of who I'm going to tip to win the pairs. So, as you said before, Mary, this is really going to come down to the 4s match out here of who wins this first round rubber.
Yes, absolutely.
And good bowl though here from Holton, from Jocelyn Holton, finishes right on the centre line. But it's about bowls on the head, and we've seen Lynette McIntosh give a great performance here. Look at this bowler. McIntosh comes past the front, just going to go by, gets them by. So even if you haven't got the shot here, Mary, you've got 2 in front, you've got 1 over. When the skips change over, you're not looking to say you're going to drop a 4 or a number, are you? And that's what it's really all about.
Yep.
And this bowl here of this last bowler, Jocelyn Holton's going to be short, come back towards the centre line, but short. And this is just as what we spoke about before. Really, Mary, it's about the appears is about owning your consistency, isn't it?
Yes,
off the front.
And it's a thinking game. I mean, if someone's out leading you, you just get onto their hand.
Oh.
And if you don't get the shot, you'll get second shot or you get in their way.
You've played long enough, Mary, at the top level as well. You know that if you're finishing just lower, I'd say half a metre lower the jack on the preferred hand of the opposition, you're not going to drop very many big numbers.
No, not at all.
The minute you leave a hand open, you make yourself.
Well, she's not putting any pressure on Lynette at all at the moment, Jocelyn. She's and then Wendy's going to come in here and get not far off.
I remember the great Dave Baldwin saying to me once in Taranaki, you've got to own the hand, and if you own the hand, you're not going to get into too much trouble. So
this is looking pretty good. Might be a bit quick.
Well, Karen de Jong's,
but she's
played
trying.
very well.
She has, but she's always having to get the shot.
So Thames Coast. Now there's a name that's been around for a long time. Val Matthews.
Val Matthews.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, defeated.
Is she playing the singles?
She's playing the singles. Beat Manuela Cosmopolitan Sharon Perry by 21 shots to 12. And interesting, at the end 16, it was 13-12. And we saw Val Matthews get a 2, a 3 and a 3. Out the door she goes, 21-12. And for those who don't know, well, Val Matthews has been around the scene
old campaigner for a long time.
And was
very
always
good singles player.
Yeah, very much so, and was always, always at nationals and major events. I can see now Holton talking to Bruce Milne, the Hinuera manager, saying what shot do we play, and really, I suppose what Bruce Milne's trying to sort of look at, well, this game's literally gone. We've got to win the fours, but as well, you've got to cut the numbers down too, don't you?
You do,
because at the end
differential,
of the day, differential comes into it. So,
yes. And now that's what they'll be thinking about,
absolutely.
Is their differential. They've got quite a few ends to go, though, haven't they?
Playing with weight here as De Jong gets in contact and gets the jack on the way through off his side bowl. We can see whether it's in or out, and it's out. That's the first kill that we've seen, but now I'm sure that really the Nongataha side, they're not going to be too concerned which end they play from.
No,
really, are they?
Lynette's playing both hands
Absolutely.
very well. So
and both hands.
And both hands, yeah.
And both ways doesn't seem to be any favoured,
no.
does it? So
no.
If
they were only
happy.
playing one way really well, you'd take the jack back. But she's just very consistent at the moment.
So it looks as though it's all going to come down to that fours match at 13-9 at this point. And as we said, the time limit of 2 3/4 hours. So they're going away at 9. So still plenty of time. 3 rounds today here at Te Puke, and right around the country, of course, other regions are playing. And I'll endeavour to be able to try and update those through the Bowls New Zealand website throughout the day. We'll get some of those other results from around the country. Just hope the rest of the country's got the weather that we've got here, Mary, because it's not a cloud, is it? Absolutely.
It's not a cloud in the sky. It's beautiful Bay of Plenty.
Says the girl from Manawatu.
From Manawatu, who I still call home, Manawatu, but no, the weather's definitely different up this way.
I was going to say, I'm quite sure that you'd prefer this weather than the Manawatu.
Absolutely. We're down there next weekend, so we'll see. This is a different length we've got here.
Yeah, it is. It's that in-between length, one or the other, isn't it?
Yes.
But again, straight away we saw Lynette McIntosh finish right on the centre line. And that's what you want. Metre behind, it's on the centre line. A lot of interest. I can see them, the Hongataha girls looking in the fours down in front of us, just
very much
encouraging in a bowl on here. I see Paul.
Oh, and PK's just drawn the shot there for Nongataha.
And it's all going to come down to that fours match. So here is Jocelyn Holton playing her second bowl on this EN12 on the backhand, trailing by 22 shots to 10. And, to get back into this game, really, it's going to get to the jack. No, it's not going to get past the jack.
Still
Will be shot, though.
Yes.
Finishes half a metre behind the jack, but will definitely be shot. And really, Mary, it's at the stage here for Hinuera. They need to pick up 3 or 4, don't they, to sort of...
They do, just to get their differential back a bit and get back in the game.
Well, they picked up a good differential, of course, in that singles match.
They have.
But you don't want to wipe it all out there in one.
At the moment, it's looking that way, but yes. Well, Lynette's changed her hand.
Well, you can look at that.
Look at that. She's drawn the shot.
And certainly, I feel that ditch hand right throughout this game. It's got a very, very good draw coming back towards the centre line. On the backhand is Jocelyn Holton. She's got the bowl out on a good arc as Holton. It would be, though, the Lynette McIntosh, which is shot.
Just little bit wide there. Good weight.
It's this club here, though, really mutes. It's a lovely setting here, isn't it?
It's a great setting here. It's tucked down in a little dip, and these greens usually play very well all season.
I remember coming here the year that the Nationals were played in the split between Waikato and Taura and the Bay of Plenty, wasn't it? I remember we came, Stu Scott and myself came here for can't remember why we came here, but we came here. But we came, yeah, but it's a beautiful setting here.
It is, it is.
I just see that bit of a breeze getting up there, Mary. I'm looking out to
changing all the time.
Yeah, I'm looking at the houses and behind the greens there, and some of those trees just starting to move around a wee bit. As we see this bowl of windy greens finished lower the jack. Now here is for Karen de Jong, chance to, if de Jong can get a touch on the jack on that backhand, she can make 2. Possibly 3 with the trail. Looks narrow out of the hand though. Needs to be outside. Yeah, that's the shot to play. Well, even sits the ball out.
She's trying to move that jack, but it's just a bit tight for that, isn't it?
Well, you know, Mary, you've played long enough to know never search for the jack. The minute you start to search for the jack, the chances are you're going to go under the line, aren't you? Yep. You just got to really hold your line and just let the bowl do the work in towards the jack and windy green. This time is going to be narrow, and that might get onto the front bowl. No, it's going to slip by. Now that, yeah,
great. It's very good weight from Wendy. She just needed a touch more green.
Yeah, here for de Jong now on that backhand is the trail, and a result in here from the men's. That's the John O'Shea from Tauranga up against the Frankton Junction player William Bennett, and I can tell you that Frankton Junction Bennett, I'll just see whether de Jong gets the jack here. Good attempt to get the jack, and does. Sits on the jack with a touch. It just makes one of it though. William Bennett of Frankton Junction has defeated John O'Shea of Tauranga in the first round here by 21 shots to 13.
It's John O'Shea's just won our champs. Pairs and singles.
I saw that. Yeah, he did on the same day. Wasn't it?
No,
same weekend.
Same weekend. Yeah.
Paul Hunt told me all about that.
Yeah, our club did very well.
Yes, I know. Paul Hunt told me all about that too. He was very quick to tell me.
Oh, this is a bit tight from Wendy. I thought she might have played the other hand because she set that jack through. They've got bowls sitting out there.
So, yeah, Karen de Jong's got to try and play to touch the jack, doesn't she?
Yeah.
She can make 3 of it now. You know,
depends if the jack springs, it could go to Nongataha. Here goes Minna Paul.
Yeah, bit of a legend, Minna from Rotorua. Oh, has it got the weight, has it? No, it hasn't, but it's got the shot though, has the...
That's the difference, isn't it? Just getting one shot where Nongi have been getting 6 and 4
5,
and
3,
5
4,
and
6.
Yep.
Looking at that second shot, they are the blue bowl of Jocelyn Holton's.
Oh, it could be. And the Nongataha 4s are now 13-11 down, so they're catching.
Well, that shot we just saw, we played down here, we saw that shot being played a few moments ago. There was applause. Minna Paul in the team was obviously...
from PK, yes.
And was just the one here in this match, this pairs match, as they changed the board over. And it's all about, as Mary rightly said, it's the numbers that the Nongataha side have been able to secure. 22-11 after 12.
6 ends to go. So Hineria should be looking at diff still.
Absolutely, yeah, very important, because there's not going to be any, it would think, the way how it's going, there's not going to be very much of a differential between the 4s.
No.
But there was a chunky differential in the singles, wasn't
21-8?
21-8, something like that. So, yeah, that was a chunky differential. And
it's a very short end, that one.
Well, they've called the umpire to put the tape on it. Talking about the Rotorua, I happened to be in Rotorua a couple of weeks ago and went to the club in the gardens there,
Rotorua club.
Yeah, and consequential to that, Mark Cameron, the CEO of Bowls New Zealand, and myself, we had a conversation that we see that as an ideal location to host an event of some standing there in the future. It's absolutely idyllic sitting there in the gardens there in
It is.
Rotorua.
It's beautiful.
Absolutely
Absolute stunning.
a great advertisement for New Zealand.
They used to have 4 greens there, didn't they?
There's 3 greens. Well, there's 2 greens that they use all the time there now, and the other one, the third one, which is there, it's been used, but not with the same consistency as the other 2. But we're looking at the thought something for like Rangatahi secondary school bowls.
Yep.
What a great place to have it in Rotorua, where they'd get treated
very well.
They get treated very, very well. So you were very, very impressed with what goes on. Like they have weddings there, and it's absolutely beautiful surroundings. So it's certainly good to see some of the clubs that we don't hear a lot about.
Because I don't know do they have many members there now?
It's interesting. Their membership sits at about 68 members,
right?
But there's only a couple of women.
Right.
It's literally all men. And talking to the people there as well, there was Arawa and Rotorua West, and their numbers like Nongaraha's fine.
Yes.
It's its own location, but the clubs in town, the Rotorua West and Arawa, the great where Sid Giddy, of course, the great Sid Giddy played for so long, and Kevin Astman, and that's been struggling, and it raises the question really. And if we take that Rotorua area, perhaps just the one club down there at the Gardens with those greens,
combine a few
of
the clubs, and
would be.
Yes,
I think it's got a lot of merit to.
Because you don't want to lose that. I mean, it's such a beautiful setting there. And
well, the other reason why Toucher here from Holden and makes 2 of it, but the other, of course, Mary, it's a green. It's a facility which is always going to be there because of the government and the Heritage Act, etc.
Absolutely.
It's part of the whole, so it's there.
Yeah.
It's not going to go anywhere. So therefore, we've really got to work to try and find a way whereby we can get some profile out of the club there, because the location's magnificent. Just checking whether that bowl is in, that second bowl there, and to me it's on the line. It is. That's the call, that bowl. It's the most wayward bowl that we've seen of
Lynette
McIntosh, as we see Holton now endeavouring to make 3 at the changeover. And it's another toucher. It's very
maybe
well
that
played.
length suits her. Lynnette's sort of made a mistake by putting a short end up, I think, and.
But what was also surprising, we saw a change of hand of that second bowl from Lynette, but she's now gone back to that favoured backhand side, coming up towards us here in the commentary position. And remind you, of course, that now 13-12 in that
and this doesn't look a
forward
bad
match.
bowl, actually, from Lynette. She can tuck in under there and get second shot.
Needs to sit inside or outside the
great
bowl.
try.
Great effort. So, well, this will be the first time as we play in 13, Mary, that we would have seen the Hinuera side change over 3 up, wouldn't it? That hasn't happened. And now with that fours game all tightening up, 13-12 after Debbie White has already won the singles for Hinuera, and the pairs certainly going the way of
Actually,
the
it was
Nongaraha
Jocelyn that's put the short end up, not Lynette, so that's a good move by Jocelyn.
So now, and it leaves the backhand now. Now, Karen de Jong hasn't been playing many bowls, of course, on this backhand because...
But it suits her bowls, probably.
Absolutely, it does.
Absolutely suits her
and she's had
bowls.
to play the other hand because the way the heads have gone. So this should be the ideal hand, really, for Karen de Jong to be able to draw and add to the count. It's going to finish jack level.
It would have been pretty good bowl if the jack is on the centre line, but it's been moved.
Well, it needs to be that target on that draw there. Really, Mary is out to this bowl of this jack level bowl of Lynette McIntosh's. So here now is Wendy Green. Needs to get past the front
She's
bowl.
almost going to draw it if she
gets past the
there.
front. She's going to draw the
She's
jack
draw
and
the
does
jack.
do so. Well played. Will make 2 shots of it. It was a big turnaround. It was a 5-shot turnaround, really.
It is. Yeah.
They were holding 3 where Hinuera, and really
De Jong here is changing to the forehand. We've played most of her bowls coming this way on the forehand, 2 down, trailing 22-11 as we play the 13th end. Hands on a good line. This bowl of De Jong needs to get past her own front bowl to get to the jack. Is a great attempt. Going to sit on the bowl. It sits on the bowl and falls out, but it's a good attempt. Just the indication 1 to see that marker Caitlin Thompson indicating to us.
And the Nongataha 4 now are 1 behind, 13-12. So they're catching.
So it's really going to come down to the fours match, isn't it?
It is.
So Wendy Green now playing. I haven't seen her playing many bowls as well on that forehand. It's certainly a different line on the forehand and the backhand side is. And not many options really here for Karen De Jong after that great bowl that we saw Wendy Green play with 3 down and moved the jack. And Mary's quite right in saying now that as far as this Pierce game is concerned, it's important for the Hinuera side that they work to hold that to get that differential more favourable, because they have a good differential in the singles. Debbie White winning her game with a strong differential. As you watch this bowl, just going to slide, sits on the bowl, but just so story.
Great try.
It is, but when you're actually sitting inside the bowl, not on the bowl, you're always going to. Most times you're just going to run away fractionally, aren't you?
Yeah.
So bonus.
It's a better line from Wendy out here.
Well, if Wendy
She
draws around this front bowl, she's got every chance of drawing another counter around the front bowl. Will it come back far enough? I think it will. Falls in. I'm picking it be shot. Another shot. The blue bowl out to the side is it just fell in then.
Oh, it did.
No, got no more bowls
Jocelyn
left.
wants another one from a skip.
No, not going to have that. It's definitely 2.
Could be 3.
That's
2.
2 it is.
2. It's a good end from Nongataha because they were under pressure just with Jocelyn's bowls.
So 24-11 now, 24-11 after 13 ends. It's the Nongataha combination of Lynette McIntosh and Wendy Green leading the Hinuera combination of Jocelyn Holton and Karen De Jong. And of course, earlier we saw Debbie White, the current New Zealand squad player, win her singles match.
She'll be waiting to see if she's in the squad to go to the Trans-Tasman, I would think.
Yes.
They've got that coming up.
Yes.
Not too far away.
No. Yeah, team still to be announced after the trials, 2 lots of trials recently at the Rocky Nook Club in Auckland. And the selectors, Philip Skoglin, Peter Bellis and Mike Kern as the coach, will have that team out shortly.
Has to go through the Olympic Committee.
Yes,
Is
it
that
does.
right?
Yes, it
Yeah.
does.
Yeah.
There's a bit of an article in the papers yesterday about it, actually.
Ah.
Yes, it does. It has to go through the Olympic Committee to be signed off by them. And, of course, in between time, we've got the Trans-Tasman at Mount Tamborine on the Gold Coast.
When's that? Because I heard the Aussie team are going to England for 2
Australia
weeks,
are
aren't
off
they?
to. They are. They can.
The squad. The
The
squad's
whole
going.
squad. It's not the selected side. It's this big squad going to, and they'll be playing a lot. Well, they'll be using Leamington on Spa as their base. Of course, come back to where the bowls will be played at the Commonwealth Games, and then they'll come back to Mount Tamborine, and that and the New Zealand side that will be playing in the Trans-Tasman will in fact be the Commonwealth Games side. Unfortunately, we had a number of events scheduled to be played in Australia for trials and other bits and pieces, but the COVID scenario has hasn't been able to happen. But I can assure the Australian side, by going to Australia and then coming back to Mount Tamborine, and then heading to Birmingham, they will be very, very well prepared.
They will. They will.
And indications are, talking to Sian on it from England, who will be part of the England, I imagine going to be part of the England women's side, that Leamington on Spa will be running, they say, at about 11 to 12 seconds. That's if it's not raining.
Yeah.
If it's raining, it's 8 or 9 on a good day. So it is completely different conditions, as you well know, Mary, and Australia will be pretty well, they'll be used to the conditions by the time the games start. But the New Zealand side will be announced shortly.
So Jocelyn's holding shot, is she here? Or was, I think. I
Was,
think this
yeah.
might be shot from Lynette.
Just depends how far it runs, gets the
Oh,
jack, and it's the
yes.
shot. You saw the green
Very
indicator.
happy.
So here's another result coming here in the Manuera singles. That is Roger Andrew up against Colin Gorworth of Coromandel, and it is Coromandel who run out the winners by 21 shots to 18. Very well performed player is Colin Gorworth, and so that's one under the belt for Coromandel in their match against Manuera Cosy Club. And of course, Manuera Cosy, they've got two teams here, both the men and the women. But we'll have all of those results for you at the completion of this round. The paras and blind bowls, those players have been announced for.
Oh, they have. Graham Skilloon from here.
Well, again, I'm not sure where he belongs. Takapuna are also claiming him.
I know, but he's playing for us, well, for Tauranga this weekend.
Yeah, this weekend he is.
He is. But he's been practicing so hard to go to England. He's made the team there, and you see him out practicing all the time. He
Yeah,
puts
he's,
a lot of time and effort in.
He's been putting the hours in.
He has. He's even got a wee green at his house that he practices on. That it's a cricket green, but he's mowed it for himself. And I've been out there, and even that's quite good just to practice on.
Karen DeJong looking for the jack here. Turns the bowl over though. Oh, Wendy Green, yeah, Graham Scallon, of course, formerly born and bred New Plymouth boy, and was a very handy tennis player
Oh, was
in
he?
his younger days. Absolutely, yep. At the Huatoki Tennis Club in New Plymouth. Very handy tennis player. Yeah, another good.
Very good ball from
TD
Wendy.
needs to get passed by a roll. But what's happening though here really now, Mary, is there's just no scoring chances for the Hinuera side. You know, just getting bowls around the head and just not scoring chances. And De Jong now having to change her hand.
She's trying to pull that jack back to.
Not played many on that
and
forehand going
she's
that
not
way.
far
He's
away
going to get
from
some
this.
contact.
Oh.
Well, depends what got contact. Yeah, and then rolled her own bowl, in fact, into the shot,
Yes.
into the head for shot. So, but again, it's just the one.
It's just the one.
It's,
Yeah.
you can't-
And Wendy only has to play for second shot here. She doesn't want to move the jack.
No, she does not, because there's two
she's
bowls
having a wee
there.
run at it.
Yeah, there's two bowls of Jocelyn at Holton's. I think she'd rather be narrow here than. Because, oh no,
Oh,
we got a double
that's a bit
kiss.
lucky, wasn't it?
Very lucky, really. Yeah, they got the double kiss and they rolled onto the jack. Yeah. Well, De Jong really has to play a similar shot, but
She
play
does.
perhaps a yard more weight if we can get a touch on the jack. But that port through those bowls now, Mary's very narrow, isn't it? Very narrow through that forehand side.
Yeah.
And playing with the bowls that Karen De Jong plays with, just a wee bit harder to play those
Probably has
shots.
to have more weight to hold them up.
Yeah, but will it come back? No, it's not going to. It stays on the outside. And it's another end gone, 14 gone now. And that's a 1
And over on the other rink, Nongataha are
Hit
up
the front.
15-13.
Yeah, well, there's a
So that's a big turnaround now, really, at the moment, because on the 12th end, so there's 3 ends to go.
well, they were behind. Yeah, they've come back well, haven't they? Because
They
they were quite a few behind.
They have. So this is very telling game, this game.
So playing right down in front of us here at the Te Puke Club, this beautiful 2-green club. And just to remind you for the men, we have got Frankton Junction, Tauranga, Manuera Cosmopolitan and Coromandel all trying to win in this round robin today to win their way through the national final. And in the women's, we have Hinuera, Nongataha, Thames Coast and Manuera Cosmopolitan. And around the country today as well, there is a number of the regions playing their Interclub round robin to make their way through to the national finals. And I can tell you, for those watching, that well, I haven't got it in front of me, but the calendar of events that we've got coming up, this is the first today of, well, I would say it's around about 40 events that will be live streamed by Tamara, the main lady behind all of this live streaming, but we'll be covering bowls events live right around the country. And Mary, you would have, I'm sure you'd agree now, the advent of the live streaming. You've seen all the gear here. It's
amazing. It's amazing how you get it all into one little room like this. But it's wonderful that people can sit at home and watch the bowls now, and it gets bowls out there
it certainly
in the
does.
community.
It certainly does. And Bowls New Zealand have got a significant, not just in the equipment that they've purchased, but in manpower and everything else. But, you know, we've got a big commitment for this up and coming for the winter. Well, there's no such thing as a bowling season now. It's,
No.
it's all year round. You know, we'll be covering, for example, down the deep south later on the year, the north-south match, of course, which will be played indoors. And there's other indoor events around the countryside that we'll be also covering. So, yeah, we'll have a coverage going out which will cover geographically North Cape to the Bluff right throughout the.
Yeah.
And also, what we're also seeing a lot now. Look at this bowl here from magnificently played from
Net.
the net. You know, just as we spoke about before, Mary, that hand there is got a generous. It's got a generous draw, hasn't
does.
it? Yeah,
It does.
You can certainly draw around a bowl. And we've now also got a number of clubs around the countryside.
Jocelyn may
We're trying to get to the
may-
Jack. Trying to get to the Jack Trail just goes by.
probably just a bit quick. She needs another bowl on the head for a skip, really, doesn't she?
She does.
It's a wasted bowl, really.
But we've got clubs now. Paradudu in New Plymouth, they've just invested in the process of investing a significant amount. They've got a set up with a complete live streaming
Right.
setup. Nine Barry Morrison, the secretary manager at Nine they're also embarking upon a significant investment. And here at Te Puke as well, they're in the process of upgrading as well. So, yeah, we're going to see a lot of bowls from all around the country.
Another shot near the head for Wendy.
Karen Dijon, you're going to try and sit down on the shot bowl to get a touch on the jack. Just goes by. Just slips by, does De Jong. Hard shots to play, Mary, aren't they? They sort of reaching.
They are. And again, maybe they should just be trying to get a second shot there.
Well, if you look now at where you're situated, match-wise, you really got to work for that differential because of what's going on in the fours right now.
Absolutely.
It's not really about you getting the shot now.
It's keeping the diff down.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, needs to get underneath the bowl head. Oh.
Ooh.
In fact, turned the bowl over. Oh, Wendy Greens, and now it's Nonga Harp. Just saw on that fours game, the indication that it was Inuera that just scored there on that 13th end. I saw Bev Corbett giving applause, and yes, it's Inuera that have got the mat. So it's really going to come down to this fours match, Mary, isn't it? I'm just seeing that board changes.
Just don't know what they've got.
Just need someone to move there to see what that score was that went up on the board. And the fours is, how many ends is the fours?
15.
15.
15 ends.
So another 2 here to the 27. This board's now starting to really blow out. 27-11.
So Hinuera have a couple of Taronga people in their team as well.
I know.
We've got the skip and the lead in the fours, and we've got the lead in the pairs here for Hinuera.
In the old days, as you well know, Mary, people didn't move around very much, did they?
No.
But they certainly do now, don't they?
They do.
So 15-14. So this whole Hinuera and Nongataha match is going to literally come down to 2 ends.
It is.
Really, that's with the pairs being locked away by singles being locked away by Debbie White for Hinuera, and it's safe to say that the pairs is certainly locked away for Nongataha. They lead 27-11 after 15, and 13 ends of the fours gone, playing the 14th now, and it is Nongataha leading by 15 shots to 14. So 2 ends to go in the fours, and that's going to dictate who wins this.
Nongataha have just drawn the jack on the fours, but there's plenty of room.
Plenty of room, isn't there?
Plenty of room, probably a metre.
I'm very impressed. Lynette McIntosh, perhaps not the last couple of ends, has been as consistent, but certainly in those mid stages of this particular match, where she owned one hand, and certainly it's in my view it's been in this pairs match, it's been really how Linda McIntosh, Mary, has set up the ends after
She has,
after
and even though she's not close at the moment, she's still got shot, and that's all you need really at this stage.
See Minna Paul trying to draw the jacket. She did.
Has. She's drawn it back to their bowl sitting at the back. So Nongataha holding probably 2 shots at the moment in the fours.
Well, it could actually come down to one end, couldn't it?
It could. One end shootout. And
we see Lynette McIntosh just sails by. It'll be the 3 loosest bowls I think we've seen her play in this match. And boy, there's a pretty good attempt. There's the shot
another
himself.
Another toucher from Hinuera.
So it's bowl for bowl in that fours match, which is playing right alongside the pairs here. And of course, you've got to regardless of the scoreboard, you've got a, as we see, a toucher there being drawn from Jocelyn Holton. So the you have to play the ends out because
very good.
with differential coming into it, you would normally possibly in the pairs you'd be saying, right, we're going to shake hands after this end.
Absolutely.
But with differential, of course.
So the pairs haven't won an end for 3 ends, and
well, yeah. If we take that, sadly for Hinuera, they've scored 3 twos, a 3, and 2 singles, and that's so. It's if you're going away and have a chat after this game, you'd be just saying, let's try and build some. Let's for the rest of the day, we've got to be building some heads to try and give ourselves to build our scoring options up, because we're not building heads that are really going to, help us to get that W.
no. Well, this is really spread head this time from the both teams.
Certainly they have. Well, I suppose if you're the Nongataha side, you've got it in the bag.
Yes, but again, they should be thinking about differential as well.
Oh, just absolutely, because it is. These things do come down to differential, as you would know. There's not that often where someone has a clean sheet right throughout, and differential plays an important part in the overall result. See Bev Corbett down in front of us for Hinuera. So he's drawing the shot there right behind the jack. You just see that. So Kieran De Jong going at the Nongataha, attacking the head down here. Go by. Skips change over in this fours. And there is a breeze, definitely a breeze out there now. It's not a big breeze, but it's certainly just a breeze blowing through. As we see De Jong out, that's it, going by the head.
So Wendy might have a wee run at that bowl.
Well, Wendy Green. Wendy Green coming down. I heard Lynette McIntosh saying we've got catches here, playing down on that forehand, trying to get to the bowl of Jocelyn Holton's.
Oh, she's just going to duck away, I think.
Might get her own and rolls it over. It does nothing. I see Hinuera here in this fours game, trying to go right to the back.
Yeah, well, Puke's got a massive drive on her, so...
Oh, has she?
Yes, she has, so I think she'll be using that.
So Karen De Jong, got a touch on the jack. It should make 2 of it. It does. And marker Caitlin Thomas quickly telling us it's 2. 27-13.
2 ends to go.
2 to go.
Yes, PK's going to drive this head on the fours.
Yes, she's lining up. And you're right about the weight for sure. Mary has got the front.
Oh.
Yes, certainly delivers the bowls. A bit of zip behind those.
She has a big zip behind her bowls, yes.
So 16 gone of 18 here, 27-13 to the Nongataha combination of Lynette McIntosh and Wendy Green over Jocelyn Holton and Karen De Jong. Earlier, of course, we saw Karen De Jong win her singles, as we saw Debbie White win her singles match over the Nongataha. So at this stage, one would assume that makes it 1-1 in this event, and it's really going to come down to the fours, where at this stage, with 13 ends gone, it is Nongataha who are leading Hinuera by 15 shots to 14 after 13 ends, and it is Hinuera on this 14th end who are in fact holding 2 shots.
And I'd be moving the jack or trying to tuck it away if I was them at this stage.
Yeah.
It's sticking out a wee bit there.
You're quite right. Just going to go by. I see the bowl, but you're right. A touch on the jack, trail on the jack's more than likely a good option.
Just take the shot, drive away.
This lady, Puke, what's the skip's name?
PK.
PK. And she's certainly one of the quickest ladies I've seen driving. Here it is on the drive. And gets the jack straight into the ditch.
Yep. Yep.
What a bowl.
Hinuera should have moved that jack.
Wow. Well,
it's a big turnaround.
Wow, huge turnaround. And it was a 1 jack in the ditch, 16-14. And that really is a 3-shot turnaround at that crucial part of the match. Well, I don't know about a lot of the women players now, Mary, all of them, but PK, she had one of the quickest drives going around, wouldn't she?
She does, and you know she's pretty accurate. Most of the time she's very accurate.
Yes.
And that's why if I was in the Hinuera team, I would have been getting them to move that a little bit, change your head around. So,
yeah, ditch board would have been the best
rather than leaving it open.
Yeah, that's as quick as you'd see, it's for sure. So 27-13 as we play in 17 of 18 here in this pairs match between Ngātaha and Hinuera. And, we might have seen possibly the winning shot for the Ngātaha side there from PK, their skip, who turned 2 down on the head and turned with a drive, jack in the ditch. And got the jack clean too.
She did.
Clean as a whistle.
So I think Lynette's a couple down here, is she?
Yes. But, the differential's handy. Everything's different. Everything's handy for them at present. And we'll still be 1 down now.
Yeah. Good.
But that breeze is certainly picked up.
It may be affecting the bowls a bit out there now.
Could be.
Coming across the green.
Yeah, it certainly has freshened up that breeze, that's for sure. And we'll be bringing you, I'm not sure which match we'll be bringing you next. We'll bring you the 2 other rounds today. We'll be bringing you the live action. I'm hoping that we're able to liaise back with Bowls New Zealand and we'll get some
men's
updates from around the country. We're bringing the men's fours in the next round, and that'll be the Tauranga side of Steve Hughes, Graham Skillern, Ben Thurston and Cliff Webber up against the Coromandel side of Ridge Wright, Jim Dix, David Weatherly and Ernie Grocott. Will be bringing you that game live as the second round match here from Te Puke. And then the last match of the day, we'll be bringing you again the Tauranga men's side up against Manurewa. The Tauranga side, very, very strong combination of Dan Dickinson and Lance Tasker up against Shane Drabble and a very well performed Stephen Bicknell. So we'll be bringing you that 18-end encounter as our 3rd round match this afternoon. And it is here. It is the Karen De Jong skip side who are holding the shot. Last end in the 4s being played after we just saw that magnificent drive from the Ngātaha skip turning 2 down into 1 up, which certainly changed things around.
2 ends, 1 end.
So you might know this, Mary. So if the 4s were to tie,
it's a draw. It's a draw.
They play an extra end
no,
on no extra end.
It's a draw.
It
was at the Intercentre. A draw was a draw.
So one would assume that it would be the same.
Yeah.
I should have checked that beforehand, but it doesn't happen very often. But because who knows, that could well be the result.
Well, that cost us in the Intercentre really a draw from What team was it? I can't think now. When we were over at Tui Park, Taronga, well, the Bay had 6 wins. And I can't think what the name of the team was. The other team had 5.5 wins, but they won it on. They won it because they had a 1.5 win on one.
You never thought a draw would kill you, but it can, can't it?
It did. And we actually won more games, but only because we won 3 games in the first round, and you don't get any points for winning 3 games. You only get points for winning 2 games.
Yeah.
So
that's a controversy that's been around for a long time.
Well,
Dear reward, you know.
We found it pretty tough, really.
No, I know, because I had some commentary passed on to me. So here's a good bowl here coming from Windy Green, not going to cry. Just the 1-2 Hinuera as we go into the last end. 27-14 as we play the last end, and also keeping an eye as well on the 4s, which I believe it's Hinuera who are holding 1, and they trail 16-14, playing the last end. And I think we know it, Mary, that if it comes to the last end, which it is, and Nongara have to get some reduction on the head, they've got the right lady there.
They do.
That can certainly do that, can't she? We just saw that on the last end. So
I just wonder if they're a couple down on the head at the moment, because they're running at the head now.
Well, they certainly are, correct.
So Hinuera must hold a couple of shots. Maybe.
Yeah, you would think so, just by hearing there the indications. You're right, Mary. As I see, Bev Corbett's on the mat now. You're right that because you're just told to beat a bowl right out on the outside, so that would lend one to think that you're right, that they are holding 2 shots.
They could be holding more, actually. This one could come in for 3.
Oh, well. We'll see in a moment, but we know for sure that the Nongaraha skip, I'm not sure how she goes on the draw. You'd know that.
She's a very good draw player.
Oh, there
too.
you go. She's quite capable of.
She's capable of both. Just depends what shot she's going to play there. Depends if they're 3 down. There could be 3 or 4 down there.
Well, they're looking closely at the head, aren't they? And just indicating there the way how the body language, it looked as though that the PK, the skip for Nongaraha, is going to endeavour to draw, as we see the consistency of not quite to the same degree now from Lynette McIntosh, but in those mid stages of the game, she was certainly outstanding here in this pairs match, and certainly laid a fantastic foundation for her skip, Wendy Green. And as Mary said throughout earlier on the commentary, this pairs, it's all about what the lead does. We see, as indicated by Mary, that in that close to 4s match, it's PK, the skip of the Nongaraha side, endeavouring to draw. One would think, as you rightly said, Mary, that they may well be more than 2 down. So this, it's incredible, isn't it? This really, that 4s game comes down to a 1-bowl shootout.
Yes, it is.
The whole match, the whole Hinuera and Nongaraha match really looks as though it's going to come down to a 1-bowl shootout.
It just depends how many they're holding there, Hinuera, whether PK tries to draw the next or she drives.
Well, one would think there's definitely 2 there, wouldn't there? But that's the way how it was looking before.
It looks like 2 or 3 to me, but they just want to reduce the count.
Very scattered end here, 2 very, very short bowls from Jocelyn Holton. I see Bruce Mill, the manager of the Hinuera side, going right down, sitting just in behind the scoreboard there now in that 4s match, knowing very well that, well, one would think that you're right. I think they could well be holding 3 because And on the draw now is Puke, the skip for Nongataha.
Oh, I think she's played her bowl far too wide. I'm surprised at that, actually, that she's...
Oh, well, there's the consultation there with the manager, Mary. So what do we do? It's come down to that. They're going down to have a look. So amazing. We've played 21 up in the singles. We're going to play 18 ends of pairs. And this whole match is going to come down to this one bowl.
This one bowl.
That's going to be played by the skip for Hinuera.
So maybe they only hold one shot. If they're going to be, if they're trying to, maybe that bowl of Minna's out to the, it might be Minna's out to the right there. That might be second shot.
Yeah, well, Bruce Milne, the manager, he was sitting down here in front of us, and the last few bowls I saw him move very quickly down, and he's down there now at the head with the three players.
Just missed the shot.
A lot of ends played, and it all comes down to one bowl, which will decide this first round match in the Hinuera Nongataha rubber. And you can see all the Hinuera girls straight away. They're pretty down, urging this bowl on.
Maybe they've got 2 and they want 3 for the win. That's just held out, hasn't it? Oh.
Well, we'll see in a moment. Well, there's 2.
Draw.
Well, I'm not sure. Bev Corbett's indicated that they think they've got 3.
Yep.
So we'll stick with you. This last end of the pairs where it's all one-way traffic with Nongataha.
2. It was a draw.
A draw. So
that's huge.
So we've now got Hinuera with singles locked away and a draw in the 4s, and
what's the diff?
And Nongataha have got the pairs locked away with a strong differential. Debbie White one, I think, would have come up with a differential of about 13.
Well, this is 13 at the moment, isn't it?
So, yeah.
Equal diff at the moment.
It
comes down to this bowl, really.
Karen DeJohn going to sit on the bowl. If she sits on the bowl, that she's just done, you would think that would be shot. So you saw Lynette McIntosh indicating where the skip Wendy Green. Now we could have Wendy Green playing for the match.
She could. She could.
If our
for the differential.
If our maths were right from before, this is going to be very tight. This Hinuera Nongataha match
she's not.
Has she got the weight to get to the bowl? In fact, going to get that turn over the Hinuera bowl. Shaking hands with. It's a 2's the indication there.
2, so that means Hinuera's diff is better.
It's 2 takes him to 16, 27-16. Now, of course, it's got to be confirmed to us, but it could be that
11.
That Hinuera won by possibly one shot of the whole 3 matches. So we don't know at this stage, but we can tell you in this first round of the Regional 2 National Interclub playoffs here at the Te Puke Bowling Club that we saw Debbie White of Hinuera win her singles match, giving Hinuera 1 up in the rubber. And we've just seen the Nongataha combination of Lynette McIntosh and Wendy Green defeat the Justin Holton Karen DeJong combination by 27 shots to 16, and it was pretty much one-way traffic right throughout. And then, of course, we saw in the women's 4s the Nongataha up against the Hinuera side, a draw. And so it's 1 each and a draw, and it's all going to come down to that differential. And when we come back later on this afternoon, or the round 2, we'll be bringing you the men's 4s game. That of the Tauranga side, Steve Hughes, Graham Scalern, Ben Thurston, and Cliff Webber up against the Coromandel side of Reg Wright, Jim Dix, David Weatherly, and Ernie Grocott. So this is Kevin Hickland and Mary Campbell, and we'll be back shortly or this afternoon with the round 2 of this regional interclub playoffs.